Good morning, I'm Colby Thielen. Right now on News 9 at 6, a vacant restaurant catches fire overnight. The clues crews say they found when they arrived on scene. Coming up.
I'm Lacey Lowry. The new state superintendent meets with journalists for the first time since taking office. What he says his priorities are and why he says kids' test scores are lower this year and who is to blame.
I'm Robin Marsh. We are talking all things OU Texas. Yep, it's the Red River Showdown, and one of the big traditions actually starts later this morning. They're running the game ball from Norman all the way down to Dallas, where they're live for it. Keep it here on 9.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Oh, it is here. It is a big week and a lot of excitement about OU Texas. A lot of the talk yesterday is John Mateer going to be playing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that was like huge news. Then we've got a big concert coming to OU as well.
Luke Combs coming, and then they're literally running the game ball this morning down to, I think it's like 200-mile run.
200 miles. If they're doing like a 12-minute mile, it's 40 miles of running.
I do like a 40-minute mile.
I'm doing the first leg, okay?
There you go.
I'm doing it when it's cool outside.
I'll be the cheerleader. How
Yeah.
about that?
Oh,
Right?
yeah, I'll drive in the truck beside you. That'd be a nice way. Lacey's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. A lot of folks might be getting out running this morning. Lacey?
Oh, it's such a great morning. Get out, go for a walk. If you're not a big runner, if you are, have at it. It looks nice. Winds are light. Let the kiddos get out, stretch their legs early this morning. It's very, very pleasant. It is cloudy to start off the day, which that's going to help keep those temps down for several hours. Coming up, our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, the low cloud deck will greet you once again. We're at 60 degrees. Might get a few areas of light drizzle, patchy drizzle as possible. So taking you through the morning, maybe you do have outdoor plans, mid-50s, low 60s. Rain chances are running about 10%, taking you through 9 a.m. Other than that, we are dry. We've had a couple of sprinkles develop, 1 or 2 downpours, but most of the nation right now, with the exception of the far east coast, is dry. Talking about a couple of showers, you'll notice a little light rain showing up on Next Gen Live around Oklahoma City. Most of that is just what we call some ground clutter. It's not actually reaching the ground. We have had a downpour just north of Calvin, and then we're also seeing a couple of showers down near Duke, and that's kind of ending. So rain chance, very isolated. Can't rule it out with that cloud deck that's in place. We're in the upper 50s, the low 60s. Now we've got some lower 50s down along the Red River, and we're back to the 70s this afternoon. Today's our last day in the 70s until early next week. How hot are we about to get? That's coming up.
You got to see these flames. A vacant Oklahoma City restaurant catches fire early this morning. It was just before 1 a.m. Look at that, near Southwest 25th and Western. Crews say when they got to that vacant restaurant, they found heavy flames. They jumped into action. Firefighters tell us no one was inside when they got there, but the back door was open.
Right now, it looks like the back door was open when we arrived on the scene. I'm suspecting that there was somebody inside. So we're probably going to find maybe evidence of a warming fire down low that got up into the attic.
Firefighters say the building is a total loss. No one was injured. And just a few hours later, police scrambling a few blocks away to Southwest 18th and Westwood. Officers tell us they found a person at the scene with what they called a puncture wound. No word on how the victim received that wound. We're asking police if they've learned any other details. We'll keep you posted if they arrest anyone.
It is 6:03. Other headlines this morning. Fire investigators are trying to determine if a Metro house fire was intentionally set. We first brought you the story yesterday morning. It was about 11 last night near Southwest 60th and Penn. Crews say a dog was killed. Firefighters say the fire caused an estimated $110,000 in damage. Last night in Weatherford, the Southwestern Oklahoma State University community coming together, hoping for a miracle. A vigil was held for a missing student. We're talking about 18-year-old Logan Musel. Here is his picture. He was last seen there in Weatherford September 12th, less than a month after he had started school at SWOSU. At this time, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says there's no indication of foul play. Musel's family and dozens of students there in Weatherford showed up for a vigil in unity, hoping for a miracle.
Something that I've learned in my 4 years on the hilltop is that SWOSU is more than just a school. It's a family. The family is always there whenever you need them.
If you know anything about the whereabouts of this young man, please contact local authorities or the OSBI.
Oklahoma's new superintendent met with journalists for the first time since taking office, and he outlined the most immediate steps that he's taking, as well as a rough timeline for those ideas. Department staff says it's currently reviewing virtually everything that was done under the Ryan Walters administration. Questions, though, remain on how the agency will handle the social studies standards designed by Walters.
Will the social studies standards be adopted? And if not, what will happen? I believe litigation is still pending on these standards, but the Oklahoma Supreme Court's most recent ruling advised districts to revert back to the 2019 standards.
A spokesperson for the State Department of Education also says that Superintendent Fields has not fired anyone since taking office. 6:06 your time right now. Let's get a check of traffic. Our news tracker, Stephen Owsley, is out and about this morning. Right now, he's on I-40 taking a look at the Skydance Bridge. And so far, traffic in this area moving along smoothly on I-40. He's looking eastbound, and if you heading out the door sometime soon, if you're coming into the city, it doesn't look like you're going to have any major issues. Traffic's still pretty light at this hour, but we'll keep you posted as the commute picks up.
The U.S. Supreme Court denies a request to take up another tribal jurisdiction case, this one involving the governor's brother. Governor Kevin Stitt's brother, Keith Stitt, has been trying to get a $250 speeding ticket dismissed for 4 years now. He was ticketed by Tulsa police within Muskogee Nation boundaries. Keith Stitt claimed the ticket defied the U.S. Supreme Court's McGirt decision because he is a tribal member and he was on tribal land. The state Supreme Court ruled against him back in March, and that ruling will now stand since the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear the case.
Well, the Oklahoma Department of Transportation says hundreds of projects could actually be put on hold due to things being so expensive. ODOT has an 8-year plan to improve roads and highways across Oklahoma, including right here in Oklahoma City. We talked with the transportation director, Tim Gatz. He says inflation, though, is forcing ODOT to push back on some of the projects.
Those projects are still priority, and they are still projects that need to be done. It's just going to take us a little bit longer to get to those projects.
And the reason why a majority of ODOT's funding actually comes from the federal government, but those funds are set to expire next year.
Well, 75 homes could be in the path of the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority's new south expansion, and the authority's director is sharing details about that revised alignment, which was unveiled last month. Since that announcement, OTA says it's engaged with hundreds of property owners at open houses. The director also says the revised route is designed to minimize home impacts.
We estimate about 75 homes will need to be required for the project, which is comparable and hopefully less than the original alignment.
So the next steps now include winter surveys with construction set to start in 2027. The Turnpike's northern section is slated to open in 2032. That southern portion expected by 2034.
The University of Oklahoma is planning to add padding to its walls within the football stadium after that horrible collision during Saturday's game.
Well, the University of Oklahoma's Navy, ROTC, kicks off the annual Red River Rivalry tradition this morning. They're running the football 200 miles down to Dallas. News 9's Brianna Brown joins us live. She's there at the OU campus with more on a time-honored tradition. Boy, what a great morning for a run out there, Brianna.
Yes, it's a tradition like no other ahead of the Red River Rivalry, as both Navy ROTC battalions from Oklahoma and Texas will once again run the ball from their respective campuses all the way to the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. Now, the 28th annual kickoff for the run to Dallas will begin later this morning with a ceremony at 8 a.m. where OU head coach Brent Venables will deliver remarks before handing the game ball off to OU Navy ROTC battalion commander. Now that's when the Sooners battalion, nearly the 200-mile journey, will begin, with at least 2 midshipmen running at all times during the day with rotating shifts. Now this all leads up to the 2 battalions meeting on the front steps of the Cotton Bowl and present the game balls that will be used for Saturday's showdown between the Oklahoma Sooners and Texas Longhorns. Now you want to stick with us all throughout the morning, as we'll have a live report after the kickoff of the annual run to Dallas. Live in Norman, Brianna Brown, Oklahoma's Own News 9.
Oh, this is so cool. OU and Norman, we understand the emergency services are set to join along just as a precaution. And OU President Joe Harris will join the midshipmen for the first leg of the journey. He does this every year. He loves running out of the stadium onto the road and carrying the ball to Dallas.
So cool he's involved. I tell you what, you would need emergency services if I was running any of that leg. That's a good idea they have those emergency responders.
They were going to be there whether the president was with them or not. We should point that out. Man, what a tradition.
Goodness. We'll be there live throughout the morning watching that for sure. We're watching the weather. I mean, a beautiful morning before you go for a run. Lacey?
They absolutely lucked out because this year it looks so nice. It's cool this morning. There's no ripping wind. Sometimes in October, it's very, very gusty in the mornings, in the evening as storm systems approach. That's not the case today. We've got some cloud cover. We're 50s, 60s. And here in the Bob Mills Weather Center, we're watching upper 70s for later this afternoon. So a nice feel today. Man, it's about to get hot. What's it looking like for that big game in Dallas? What's it looking like for your weekend? That's coming up.
Also coming up, heartbreak in Edmond. A 75-year-old man is killed while he's riding his bike. A driver of a car hit him on his morning bike ride. In just a few minutes, we have a safety instructor's warning for drivers on the road around bikes. Back after this. All right, bus stop forecast time. I still want that light jacket for the kids. Mine wore pants yesterday, and I was actually curious. I was like, are they still going to fit them?
It's been a while.
It worked. It was good. We found something that worked. But yeah, it's getting to that point in the year where we're going to be figuring out what do we wear today.
Well, and as soon as you wear like long pants, then it's like, oh, now it's hot again. Bust out the shorts.
Folks in other places don't understand what we go through here in Oklahoma. Day to day, it's really hard to determine exactly what you're going to do. That's why we're here.
Thank you.
That's why I am employed.
Job security, right?
Exactly. This morning is cool, but our lows are going to start getting warmer. Afternoon highs are going to get a lot hotter.
Okay.
I know. That's where we're headed. Until our next cold front, I'm tracking 2. We'll talk about it in just a minute. I just want to take you back to yesterday with those clouds that we had around. The sunset was beautiful in downtown. There's wasps, of course, on the camera. This time of year, you got to watch some red wasps, that's for sure. But there was the cloud cover. Still had enough sunshine that it was very nice. And while you've been sleeping, this is what you've missed. Clouds have been streaming back in. And over the last 2 hours or so, the ceiling or the bottom of that cloud deck has been getting lower and lower and lower. And now you're going to head out to similar conditions to what we had yesterday. Notice the little bit of light fog, the haze, and now the clouds are here in downtown Oklahoma City. That is a live look for folks right now on our Lucky Star Skycam network. It is 60 degrees, complete overcast. Humidity is at 90%. A few spotty showers, sprinkles, or drizzle is going to be possible this morning. So as the kiddos are getting ready to head to the bus stop, sure, light jacket definitely warranted this afternoon. They will be fine in shorts. We are headed to the mid-upper 70s. It looks great for recess today. It looks mostly dry. I'll show you where we do have a couple of rain opportunities for today. The advisories on the map, no severe advisories. This is all winter weather advisories, frost advisories, freeze warnings that are in effect for the Great Lakes states. Meanwhile, we still have a few areas of moisture with a weak disturbance riding in from the southwest. So while we're dry in most locations on Next Gen Live, I do want to zoom in with Next Gen down into Hughes County near Calvin. Oh, it's almost gone. That's the one shower I've been tracking all morning. It's like 3 miles wide. And I think there have been about 4 people who've had rain this morning. I'm telling you about it. There's a sprinkle over Duke and then also down south of the Red River. If we do end up with additional showers now through basically 7, 8, 9 a.m., they would stay about like what you're seeing currently as far as the size goes. So we're calling it a 10 to a 20% chance. But if I don't put that on there and you get one of those rogue showers overhead, I'll hear about it. 59 in Jones, 62 in Wellston, 57 in Guthrie, 60 at Will Rogers, but it's 59 degrees in Tuttle. I hope you're having a great morning. It is cool. It's very pleasant. That fall feel, it is here. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're pretty much calm up into northwest Oklahoma. This afternoon, northwest Oklahoma, you'll stay in the mid-70s, upper 70s across the metro. You get down to Lawton, Ada, McAllister, Ardmore, low 80s for highs later today. So where are we headed? Well, the ridge is building once again. So as far as the jet stream pattern being oriented in a way that it's bringing us storms from the north, the next few days, that's not happening. It's bringing us storms from the south, and that is heating us up, or systems from the south, I should say. As that ridge develops, 80s and 90s for the weekend. We will see strong winds on Sunday in advance of our next system, and that could bring us rain for Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and possibly rain chances for Tuesday. That's going to be our next chance for that moisture, which would help settle the dust. That would help with a lot of things because we are turning brown quickly across Oklahoma, and we don't want to get into a bad drought scenario. We look pretty quiet for the middle to end of next week, but we're still watching the pattern change that arrives around the 20th of October. That's way out there, but I'm showing you this because that is where our next cold blast comes in, or cooler blast. It'll be cold there to the north, but for Oklahoma, brings our temperatures back down to average. In the meantime, it looks dry. So as far as rain chances go and rain totals go, taking you through Sunday, a trace maybe if we get one of these isolated showers this morning. But then the rain chances start to be tacked on by the end of next week and into that following weekend. We'll see how this shakes out. I do think we'll have some opportunities early next week with that cold front that makes its way in. Lows tonight, mid-upper 50s, some 60s, nice and cool tomorrow morning. Highs for tomorrow, here come the 80s. Get ready, warm and hot conditions continue. Friday, 80s and 90s with light winds. So for all the ball games, looking good. Low 80s to the mid 70s by 9 p.m. We are dry in Stillwater on Saturday, and it'll be a warm day, feeling hot for a while in the stadium. That game is at 11 a.m., so be prepared. And if you are headed down to Dallas, whether you're tailgating or heading to the Cotton Bowl, temperatures will be in the low 90s as OU beats Texas. Temperatures will warm up to the hot category into the weekend, the start of next week. That cold front moves in. We have 70s on Tuesday, and we'll watch those rain opportunities. Hopefully we can increase those over the next few days. Back to you guys.
All right, Lacey, thanks so much. 6:20 on our Wednesday morning, and taking a look at some top national stories for you. Texas National Guard troops are now in Chicago at an Army Reserve Center. We are told they could begin assignments on Chicago streets as soon as today. The state of Illinois and the city of Chicago have filed a lawsuit seeking to block that troop deployment.
2 men are arrested for attacking police cars with fireworks, cones, and other objects. Take a look at this. This is in South Boston. Officers encountered a crowd of more than 100 people that ended up attacking marked police cruisers. In fact, footage shows one of those police cars up in flames, even causing the vehicle to explode.
A food recall this morning. Take a look at your screen. Batches of Snowpack Foods frozen spinach are recalled over possible listeria contamination. The spinach may also be found in some HelloFresh ready-made meals. No injuries have been reported. If you have this spinach, throw it away or take it back to the store for a refund. Your time now, 6:21. A quick check of traffic this morning. We've been pretty lucky, you guys. No crashes so far. Here's a live look on the Lucky Star Skycam network at all of our interstates and highways. Things looking good. I think folks are enjoying the cooler temperatures, just moseying along. That's good. We'll check again in the next 10 minutes.
Hey, coming up here on News 9, an Oklahoma resident not being shy about their feelings for Texas. Coming up, what Sky News 9 found during a flyover that was in Pryor. It's after the break.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. OU Athletics has a big surprise for Sooners coming next year. They posted this video hinting at an announcement. Well, sources confirmed that News 9 that country star Luke Combs will be performing inside Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium May 9th. Combs also posted his own video teasing that announcement.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be a good concert.
There'll be some love in Oklahoma on that one, right?
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. All right, hey, Sooner fans embracing the Red River rivalry. Look what we found in Sky News 9. Flying over Pryor, we said, what, does that actually, it does. It says Texas sucks. I can say that because it's a direct quote, folks. I can't get in trouble for that, right? All right, it even has the horns down logo. The big game Saturday, 2:30 in Dallas.
I couldn't quite read that. What'd that say?
Texas sucks.
Okay.
Is what it says.
You know, interesting. The horns down makes a nice arch. You can think about the quarterback from Texas.
Okay.
Several folks will be manning.
I'm thinking more Mateer. I'm thinking more John Mateer playing in that game. That was kind of a big of the hubbub yesterday too, right?
Yes, it still is.
Yes.
Is he going to be added to the list today of possible players? And then what's going to happen Saturday? Lacey, who knows at this point? We're excited about it.
Who knows? But we're dialed in. We're focused. We're about to get game ready. That's for sure. And I'll talk much more about what to expect for the big weekend coming up. So many trail cam pictures and videos coming in the month of October. I love this one of the Bobcat family from Garfield County. Look at the
Look at the babes.
They're just sitting there playing, and she walks over. She's like, guys, come on now. Act right.
We talked about this.
Isn't that cool, though?
I love it.
Lay there and frolic when you can catch wildlife just in their natural habitat.
That's so cool, Lace.
I know. Thank you, John, for sending that to us. Today, we're in the 50s and 60s. If you're heading out for a morning walk, it looks great. We have temperatures in the mid-upper 70s for highs today. Are you ready for 80s and 90s? Well, ready or not, they are coming. I'll let you know how hot we'll get for your weekend. We'll have much more of your headlines coming up after this break.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning.
Good morning, Oklahoma. It's 6:30 on a Wednesday morning, and we can't see the top of the Devon Tower. That's a live look on the Lucky Star Skycam network. It is a crisp, cool morning, and we're just loving these fall mornings. Unfortunately, they're not sticking around for much longer, you guys.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Right? That's the story in Oklahoma, it always seems like.
Reflecting those city lights, it's always kind of a wild, eerie, bluish that settles over the city wherever you're driving. So it's fun. We're excited about it. Hopefully it's going to last a little bit longer today. Let's talk to Lacey about it. She joins us in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Lacey.
Good morning, guys. If you were out and about yesterday and you felt the temperatures, it's going to feel very similar today. Maybe a couple degrees warmer here and there, but amazing. Temps are in the 30s and the 40s right now in the plains. We've got 50s in Wichita, 50s and low 60s for much of the Sooner State. Down pretty warm down in Broken Bow, upper 60s at that. We are quiet on Next Gen Live. We are now dry across most of the state with the exception of the southwest. And what we're watching are the rain showers that are developing back in the Texas Panhandle. Thunderstorms now north of Plainview, and these batches of rain are slowly creeping off towards the east. So we will keep rain chances in for the state as we go through the morning. Could have one or two more of those really small showers developing, but most locations starting dry, quiet, and about like this, that low cloud deck. It is here on our Lucky Star Skycam network. We're at 60 at Will Rogers World Airport. There are still some 50s, 57 in Kingfisher, Union City, 57, Miko, 58, Pink starting at 61. It's 55 in Stillwater, 56 in Clinton. Feels great, feels amazing, and it'll be very nice later today. Excited to tell you about the 70s once again because it'll be until early next week before we get the 70s returning for highs. We are heating up, but we're on that front for next week. More on the rain chances with it, and there's a big cool down headed our way around the 20th of October. I think that's when the fall feel locks in. More on the setup coming up. Back to you guys.
In Edmond, police say a former Metro school bus driver is the bicyclist who was hit and killed on his morning ride. Police say 75-year-old Charles Rempel was crossing in the crosswalk when he was hit by a car. It happened around 7:30 a.m. yesterday near Broadway and Covell. Officers say Rempel was wearing a helmet and reflective gear. We know he drove school buses for Deer Creek for years. A bicyclist and safety instructor is now asking drivers to watch out for bicycles on the road.
Just be cognizant that bicycles are out there. They have the same right to the road as people driving cars, and give them some space. Don't be in such a hurry.
Police say the driver stopped and is cooperating with investigators. They say it's unlikely the driver will face charges.
Meanwhile, an Oklahoma County judge denies the resentencing of Taisha Long. She is the Metro woman who was the first to file for relief under the Oklahoma Survivors Act. The law passed last year, and what it does, it allows incarcerated victims of domestic violence to file for a reduced sentence. Taisha Long is serving a 20-year sentence for killing her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, at a Bricktown hotel back in 2020. She claims that she was acting out of self-defense and was abused by her ex-boyfriend. Earlier this week, an Oklahoma County judge denied that request. Long's attorney says they will appeal. Boy, a story that has got a lot of folks interested in the outcome because the Department of Human Services is now accused of forcing cancer treatments on a 17-year-old Oklahoma boy who has leukemia. All of this against his mother's wishes.
And now advocates for the family are criticizing DHS, calling this medical kidnapping. News 9's Sylvia Corkill spoke with one Oklahoma mother who says the same thing happened to her.
My son was medically kidnapped. He was put into the mental health facility. It was done without a court order. It was done without my consent. And he was held there. He was held there for 14 days.
Roberta Lewis, a military veteran, says she and her family were forced to fight a government she and her husband swore to defend and protect.
This is the greatest state. We have so many freedoms, until you don't.
Lewis says her friend Dana Mooney is now fighting the same battle after her son, diagnosed with leukemia, was stripped from the care of his mother and their chosen doctor after DHS launched an investigation and petitioned the courts for custody, sparking outrage from lawmakers.
I just met with a mom who's being held prisoner in this hospital with her 17-year-old autistic son.
State Representative Jay Stegall took to social media to address his concerns after learning his friend was at the center of a DHS investigation.
This is a good mother. She's a good person. She loves her children. She's of sound mind. There's absolutely no reason to think that she would ever do anything to put her children in harm's way, ever.
Lewis says DHS is supposed to protect families and their children, who she says instead are often victimized in a system taking a back seat to the bottom line.
So there's financial incentives for hospitals. There's financial incentives for DHS because they're getting paid per their caseload. And so there's financial incentives there. And so you kind of just throw a family into this perfect storm.
Sylvia Corgill, Oklahoma's Own News 9.
A custody hearing was held on Monday at the Canadian County Children's Justice Center, but under a gag order, the outcome and any discussions remain private. In a statement, DHS says it's part of a larger child protection system and cannot act independently.
Former Senate Pro Tem Greg Treat is suing several groups, including the state, for negligence in the crash that nearly killed his son. Last year, Mason Treat was pulled over by a Canadian County deputy on I-40 near Yukon when this happened. He was pulled over for not having a proper plate on a car he had just bought. During the traffic stop, a driver slammed into both of them. Now, Mason spent weeks in the hospital with severe injuries, including broken bones and a brain bleed. Greg Treat's lawsuit against Oklahoma Highway Patrol and the Department of Public Safety claims troopers waited 10 minutes before helping Mason, which Greg Treat says made his son's injuries worse. Treat also names Canadian County in the lawsuit, saying the length of the traffic stop put Mason in harm's way. The lawsuit, which also includes the driver who caused the crash, is asking for at least $75,000 in damages. We have reached out to OHP. We have not yet heard back. The crash actually led to a new state law that clarified new car tag processes.
Let's see how we're doing on the road this morning. We already do have one snag on I-35 right south of I-40 near Grand. So we're hearing of a wreck in that area. All other interstates are looking A-OK this morning. Just buckle up, drive safely. Remember, it is a little cooler out there. Grab a jacket before you head out the door. Well, there is a push to get women's professional sports added to an Oklahoma law that is aimed at bringing more teams here to Oklahoma. The law gives quarterly payments of up to $10 million to any team in one of the 5 major sports leagues. Lawmakers now want women's leagues added because women's teams' values are on the rise.
It's happening whether Oklahoma wants it to happen or not, whether this body wants it to happen or not. Let's get on the train and ride it, right? Let's don't get left at the station.
Right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder is the only team who is actually receiving that stipend.
Oklahoma City approves funding for a biopharma company to expand. It would bring hundreds of jobs potentially to the metro. ARL Biopharma is a medical research lab, and it's planning a $46 million expansion. City councilors just voted to fund $600,000 of that project. The company says it expects to bring more than $1 billion to our economy and over 400 new jobs.
6:38 your time now on this Wednesday morning, and we're loving these cooler temperatures while they last.
Yeah, get out and enjoy the morning walk or run. It's cool. You'll definitely need your running jacket on.
Usually we're trying to just get to the weekend, Lacey, but right now the weekend's looking way hotter. I want to stay right here.
Right now. Soak up what we have today because it'll be about Monday, Tuesday of next week before we are feeling this cool. Here at the Bob Mills Weather Center, we're watching the clouds out there. They're quite low. You'll notice it's a little bit hazy, a little foggy. Visibility at the surface is fine. Sun doesn't come up for another hour across Oklahoma, so dark for your morning drive in the 50s and low 60s. When do we heat up? How hot are we getting? We're not breaking records, but man, it's going to be warm. All of your forecasts and much more right after this break.
Welcome back on our Wednesday morning, and what a beautiful start to the day. Definitely, if you like those fall feeling.
Oh, it's here.
It's so nice.
Yes, it's nice. It's so nice. Yesterday was amazing as far as the temperatures in the morning and the afternoon, and today is similar, maybe a couple degrees warmer.
We had,
and then
so
it shoots up.
We had so many people out in our neighborhood yesterday, and I was like, they're just trying to figure out what to do outside.
Yeah, just get out there.
I don't even care what we do, just get outside, right?
Get outside, soak it up. The mornings, the sunrise is getting so much later. I got home yesterday, my 6-year-old, she was like, hey, Mom, my light turned off in my bedroom, which that signifies she can get up. Okay, that's how she knows she can get up in the morning, is we have a lamp that turns off.
All right.
And she's like, but it was still dark outside. I think the time's messed up on it.
You're like, yeah, I'll explain that.
That's how we're all feeling right
It's
now.
all of us.
It's just that, yes, it's not that welcoming at the moment. We have cloud cover. We've got a little bit of patchy drizzle here and there. We're dry in Oklahoma City. We need more moisture, and we have some. I'll show you your 9-day. We got rain chances that are coming up. I love the videos that are always sent in from our viewers of cool phenomena that they see across Oklahoma. A lot of these videos have been dust devils recently, which just lets you know how dry and crunchy we're becoming across the state. But Jennifer sent this one to us, and I thought it was amazing because not only does it look like, of course, a tornado on the ground, but the dust devil, you can see the vortex with it going all the way up. It looks like it's coming out of the sun. It's just a cool shot. These things can extend several hundred feet up in the air, and they're amazing to watch. Some of them can go on for 10 minutes before they completely dissipate. So thank you for your pictures, your videos. They're cool to see for sure. We appreciate you. Now, we need more rain across Oklahoma, and this is gonna be something we talk about for the next at least 6-7 days, and then maybe even as much as 10 to 14 days of dry conditions, depending on where you are. It's been 19 days since we've had 1/4 inch of rain in Oklahoma City, 30 to 40 days in many areas to the north, and we're going to be warm and dry over the next, well, you can see 4 or 5 days. This is where we are headed before our next cold front comes in and that fall feel comes back early next week. But now into the weekend, it's the uphill climb with our temperatures, and with that, the winds pick up some, especially on Sunday. So just start thinking we could be heading back into a wildfire scenario. Hopefully not, but that's the conditions that we'll be dealing with. Then rain chances bump up. We'll see. We might have to up this. We hope we do into early next week with the storm system we'll be tracking. Now, some folks will see some rain this morning out to the west, but it's very isolated in nature. Pretty dry through the plains. It's dry in Oklahoma City, but we're watching out into the Texas Panhandle near Canadian, McLean, Texas, back down to Turkey, Texas, where we've had a few downpours and several lightning strikes with those thunderstorms. And as this rolls into our western counties, yes, a few downpours are possible, but they're still very spotty. So it's a 10 to 20% chance for most areas. The cloud deck, or that ceiling, keeps getting lower and lower. It's at about 500 feet at Will Rogers. In some areas in the metro, it's only about 300 feet off the ground. So that's getting low. You'll notice that 60 degrees is where we're starting, but it gives you that fall feel, doesn't it? When you step outside those conditions, it's kind of like, it's refreshing. It really is. 57 in Union City, 61 in Moore, 61 in McLeod, 62 in Pink, 50s, low 60s. And yesterday we had a lot of 40s out in the Panhandle. That is not the case today. This afternoon, lower mid 70s, upper 70s in OKC, and 80s down into southern Oklahoma. Those are your afternoon highs. The northeast wind is with us now, and it stays with us through today, tonight, into tomorrow. South winds start to pick up. Here's the forecast showing you the big picture and the pattern that we're dealing with. We have high pressure, a ridge to our south, and that's going to block rain chances now through Sunday. So it's hot, 80s, 90s, windy on Sunday. Then a weak cold front moves in, and it gets better. Relief's on the way Monday into Tuesday. Clouds and rain opportunities, might have some pretty heavy downpours within that. We'll have to watch. There may be a severe risk with some of those storms Monday and Tuesday. Then we're back to a hot, dry pattern before the next stronger storm system arrives, and that's going to be a cold front around the 20th of October. Between now and then, quiet across Oklahoma. It's not until early next week that we start to bring rain back into the forecast. Lows for tonight under quiet, dry conditions and really clear skies. Tonight we cleared out 50s, 80s on the way tomorrow. Dry air in place, a south wind. It heats up quickly. Now, we're not breaking records, but it is going to be warm. Upper 80s, low 90s for your Friday, and that brings us to the weekend, and it is football weekend for sure. OSU has a home game taking on Houston. We're talking 70s into the mid-upper 80s, and then the game in Big D. We're talking the Cotton Bowl Stadium down in Dallas will be electric for OU Texas in the 80s into the low 90s with full sunshine. It's going to feel like summertime, but enjoy it, hydrate, have the sunscreen, good to go. The cold front makes its way in on Monday, and with that, we cool it back off and rain and storm chances creep in. Right now, 30% for Monday. Stay tuned to the forecast. David will have the latest later this afternoon. Robin, back to you.
Thanks so much. Well, new this morning, Oklahoma's Pardon and Parole Board will meet for the first time. This is since the director announced he's stepping down. On the docket, we've learned a convicted killer. She's one of the first women in Oklahoma sentenced to life without parole. Lisa Monahan is in studio with the developments on this case. It's 35 years old. Lisa, what did you learn?
Well, Robin, Lisa Adams pleaded guilty in a deadly robbery in 1990 that happened in Pauls Valley. Now, after more than 30 years, she's pleading for mercy, a request confronted by the lone survivor of what prosecutors called a plotted attack.
I am the surviving victim of the crimes committed by Lisa Adams, Joe Acme, Shane Bootcamp, and Donald Wilson.
Decades later, Steve Northington relived every detail of the crime against him, this time before the Pardon and Parole Board, urging members to deny Lisa Adams an early release. In March 1990, Adams lured two businessmen from Texas to her home in Pauls Valley. With a sawed-off shotgun, her accomplices waited in the dark. When those men walked in, they opened fire. Bill Gentry was killed. His friend, Steve Northington, you heard from, stabbed multiple times, then dumped the men in a nearby river and left for dead.
I heard Lisa tell Joe, "You don't have to worry about Steve. I've taken care of him." Tried to get out of the water. I kept looking for Bill until I knew that if he was still there, he wasn't alive.
Both families were before the board as Adams asked the board to commute her sentence, taking full responsibility for her role in the crime. She told the board she acted out of fear of her accomplices. And after 35 years at Mabel Bassett Correctional Center, she says she's been rehabilitated, completing multiple prison programs and leading worship in the prison chapel. Letters from her family, as well as nearly 24 church leaders across the metro, were in support of her release, then submitted to the board. Garvin County prosecutors pushing back, though, pointing to several instances of misconduct since she's been imprisoned, the last in 2023. In the end, the Pardon and Parole Board denied her request for an early release. Robin.
All right, so much to process through. Lisa, thanks for the update. We do want to mention the Pardon and Parole Board still seeking a new leader. Director Tom Bakes stepping down this month. In an announcement, it will be coming November 5th. The clemency hearing will be for death row inmate Tremaine Wood in November, so it will be a big day. We'll be there watching what happens.
The Oklahoma Ethics Commission says it is investigating former State Superintendent Ryan Walters in connection with his resignation. Last month, he left office to become the CEO of the Teacher Freedom Alliance. The commission, though, will determine if there were any conflict of interest violations. Back in March, Representative Ellen Poggemiller submitted a complaint, which was dismissed then. But last month, she asked the commission for an update on that decision. It says it is investigating.
Oklahoma test scores for students the last school year show a big drop in math and reading. State leaders now say this is because Oklahoma is now using updated, stricter standards. The report shows only 27% of third graders are proficient in reading. That's compared to 51% last year. For math, scores dropped from 38% to 31%. State lawmakers say the scoring standards were lowered under State Superintendent Ryan Walters' leadership to reflect higher scores and make us look better. In a letter to parents, new State Superintendent Lyndall Fields says the lower scores this year don't show failure. They show a clearer and more accurate picture of how students are learning. Your time now 6:51. One more check of traffic this morning on the Lucky Star Skycam network. There's a live look across the metro on our interstates and highways. Everything looking good on the main thoroughfares. That's always a great thing to report. We're back with more after this. You're watching News 9 This Morning.
Coming up on the Coca-Cola porch, Wings annual Fall Festival is the most popular event of the year for the special needs community with pumpkins, fall decor, and more. And we are live at their new location. It's coming up at 9 a.m.
Hi, baby. Where's your mama? Hi. Hi, where's your mama? Where's your mommy? Good boy. sweetheart. Good boy.
Oh, a dog helped save his owner's life, leading a deputy to the woman. Eeyore, the dog, knew his owner was in trouble when she fell while they were out for a walk. Oh, my goodness. The woman is heard saying, "Oh, Eeyore, you're a good boy. Grandma loves you." Eeyore helped the deputy find the woman, and all is good today.
Is that not the cutest dog?
Looks like a happy dog for the name Eeyore.
There he is.
I'll take you right to her. I know where she is. Oh my gosh, Eeyore!
We love this.
Oh, I love that. Happy ending.
Yes.
My dog would not be able to do that. They'd be like, I don't know. Give
My
me a
dog would be
treat.
like, just leave her there. She's really okay.
She abuses me, I swear.
It's fine.
Oh, man. Hey, no complaints about the weather. Beautiful start to the day. Cool, though, for sure.
Get out, take the dogs for a long walk. It looks great this morning. They deserve it. We're starting with temps in the 50s and 60s. We'll see 70s later today.
All right. It's been a great morning so far.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing time with us.